My sword is sharp, my shield unbound, my pride will waver not. I face my foe, I lay them low, I fight them without fear. And if I should fall and walk no more, I shall not shed a tear. But war is cruel, my comrades die, and I go on alone. I will not stop to ask them why. I know I can't go home. I face my foe, I lay them low, I fight them without fear. And if I should fall and walk no more, I shall not shed a tear. My back is broke, my armor's rent, my blood is on the field. My sword is gone, my body's spent, I lie upon my shield. I faced my foe, they laid me low, but I go with a smile. The labyrinth, it calls to me. I'll wander it a while. The labyrinth, it calls to me. I'll wander it a while. My eyes are clear, my back is strong, my harness free of rot. My sword is sharp, my shield unbound.
Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. I'm probably speaking too loudly, as per normal. I think I'll just turn myself down a little bit and preempt it. I think I have got to the bottom of all the audio issues that we've had before, so we'll get this. Hi Ben, yeah, it took me ages to get that animated thing done. It was a pain in the ass, but it looks a lot better. It sounds quite cool, and I'm quite pleased with it. It's better than the other one that I did, where it looks like I'm getting ready to set up an 80s villain or 80s serial killer. So I every time I see it, it reminds you of Gladiators. I keep on thinking, I keep on expecting to see Jason Voorhees walk out from my other one. But I am tempted to use it as well because it's quite, yeah, probably. So I will say this as well, Ben. I now have them in. So and I was right. Like I said to you, where I wear an XXL, I'm now wearing a large because this is what fits. So so what we'll do is what I'll do is I'll chuck you up an XXL. And then if it fits, chuck us the money. If it doesn't fit, send it back down. but we'll go like that. All right, mate. So we'll send it all. We will chat shortly. Need all the match. Excellent stuff. So,
This has been the Hefty Yeti shopping hour.
yes, we're doing well. We are doing well. So, back to a LARP chat. I like doing these. These are a lot more chilled than the Empire things. Unfortunately, obviously, Empire E4 has been cancelled. So, sad times.
I'm sure it's very disappointing for a lot of people, but I think honestly, it is the safest and best thing to do in this situation.
100%. 100%. So I've also put names on the stream as well, so we know who everyone is. So Sovereign is forever in our hearts. So we've got
Space Cow. Space Cow will not be forgotten.
We've got so we're back to doing a LARP chat. These are nice and chilled, and yeah, we'll just take it easy and we'll just chat about everything. So Space Cow forever. Ben says, "Yeah, best choice, though sad. It is really sad." Hi, Dave. Thanks for coming along. Hope you got my message about that D&D thing.
Also, just before, sorry to interrupt, I just want to apologize if I look, because I'm looking down here, because that's where my second screen is, because I have an art tablet. So when people occasionally questions or comments will pop up, and I will just kind of go.
Okay.
That is the reason. Also, hello, I am Andy. For some reason, Steve has requested that I join him this evening. Don't know why.
Well, neither do I. I've known. So I've turned everything up a bit there as well. We'll get to Rachel's question in a second. So I've known you for like 10 years now, haven't I? Give or take, through Vampire and stuff like that.
Yes, my earliest memory of you was I didn't know you, and I was requested to drive you back to your house in the middle of the night.
Oh, was that that was Maelstrom, wasn't it?
I think it was before then. You had to pick something up. We were at a dinner. We will not carry on that particular story.
Oh yes, I remember now. Oh yeah, I remember now. that oh god, that was a very long time ago. That would
I just had the lovely Stangram brothers of fame and story turn around and go, "Hi, this is Steve. We need you to drive him back to the house." It's like, huh? Oh, okay.
Yes, I do. So, and it's been good ever since.
Yes, it has.
It has. So, hi Liam, everyone for coming along. So, Andy, I've known from a few different LARPs. I went to Maelstrom with you once. I do Vampire with you. We've been to Empire, and I think it's safe to say that my experiences of you at LARP are always. This is the normal level for a normal person's character. You are never at this level. You are somewhere off, miles ahead. You're just gone.
You assume I'm up. I'm that way. I'm just.
No, you're never that way. You are your characters are so far out there. They're just so far out there. There's never a boring character when it comes to Andy. I will say this. I don't think there's a higher thing. My mind's gone blank. I can't praise you enough for your characters, to be honest.
You have now set the bar so high I can never attend LARP again as anything other than an NPC.
No, well, I think, to be honest, Chernobog set the bar that high for me. It was fantastic. I will ask quickly because it just went off screen. Rachel asked what art tablet you are using.
I have an XP Pen 12. Now, a lot of people will say Wacom is the be-all and end-all, but I have found that XP Pen have been really quite nice so far. They've been simple, sturdy. You're paying a lot for the name when it comes to Wacom. Oh, of course, if someone were to give me a Wacom, I'm not going to say no. I mean, but for the same sort of size and sort of reliability, I paid like half the price. So, and I got a free like one of those free gloves, so I can pretend that I am a professional. Sort of the half gloves that we wear.
Dave is in chat, and Dave is the LARP Noobs podcast as well.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, so he so we're all doing a lot of stuff to keep LARPers sane during this increasingly dark. Yeah, no LARPers.
If you're trying to keep them sane, I mean, I should go. I'll catch you later.
Rachel said, "No, Wacom are too expensive. I could buy a car or kick off a good mortgage for a Cintiq." Why on all the way?
Yeah,
means nothing to me.
A Cintiq is their sort of big graphic screen because it's not just a tablet with just like a blank face. This has a screen built in.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm saying I'm looking down at it, because I have it running as a second monitor. But it's got a pressure plate in it that can tell where the pen is, so that I can draw directly into the drawing programs rather than having to be sort of having the tab down below and then looking up at the screen, which can be a very uncomfortable pose for those who are trained traditionally in the arts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't be boring you about arts.
No, that's fine. I was going to say Andy is also a very, very talented artist as well.
I'm a doodler.
He's a very talented doodler, and you do commissions as well, don't you? So when I put this up online, I'll post a link to your stuff as well, so people can have a look as well, so they can see all of that.
Sure.
Hamlet Cigar is now following. Thanks very much for that, mate. Really appreciate it. Dame Jerris, the last time I saw Randy, he tore my head off with his bare hands while screaming about being a robot man.
I wasn't screaming about being a robot man. I was yelling about the fact that they had activated my civilian protection protocols. I was in a LARP that was part of the legendary LARP umbrella called We Are Legends, run by Kelly Jane Poole and Rob and that kind of sphere of people. Yeah. And I was playing a character called Ironclad. Ironclad was a pre... because the game is based around a great pandemic that swept through the world at roughly around about 2020. Turns out I should worry about Kelly because she seems to be able to predict the future a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was basically made as a response because basically a zombie virus happened, and I was thrown into a suit of armor, plugged into all this extra mechanical stuff to enhance my strength, my endurance, and things along those sorts of lines, mentally conditioned by the military and told, go kill the zombies. And I happened to survive up until that event.
Excellent. Well, we're doing well so far. We've got 3 questions in for you already. So
is one of them why I have black tape on my generic soda brand?
No, because you are allowed to advertise on Twitch, so it's fine. You didn't have to scribble it. You didn't have to block it all out.
I just wasted a strip of Gorilla Tape to do this.
Yeah.
And let me acknowledge the fact that I put the effort in to protect you.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. Twitch have even announced that men are allowed to show nipples on the screen, so yeah, it's bizarre. So Sam Wheatley is now he's safe when he does his stuff. So Liam's asked, does Andy do LARP drawing commissions?
Yes, I have done in the past. I have done commissions of characters, commissions for designs of costumes as well. A friend of mine said that she wanted to go to an event but wasn't entirely sure what kind of thing she would look like. So I sat down with her and we worked together to create her look for the event. I have done things where people have given me a photograph and gone, "Could you just draw this person?" I did one for you actually, of Sternanos, if I remember correctly.
I think it's in my tabletop book. It's still got it's the one with Cassidy in it.
Yes, that's the other one I have done. I've also done
Yeah.
commissions for people who wanted, say, for example, an avatar for Roll20, because, well, we're all stuck
Yeah.
inside and we might want our characters fleshed out. I've done it for several groups. So, yeah, I am generally open for commissions. I just don't do the standard rules of commissions apply. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. I can, however, be persuaded with money.
Yes, as can we all. You got a few people saying hello to you. So Romeo Indigo Echo says, "Yay, Andy." Hamlet Saigar says hi. They had issues with chat, so I should probably put my phone on silent.
So it needs to restart the browser.
Mike Diamond is one of these people. It says it won't let me chat in Twitch. So I need to put my phone on silent, otherwise it's right. So I'm assuming you're Hamlet Saigar. So people have said hi. Right then, where was the other one?
I do hope I have not broken your monitors with my face.
No, your face is fine. My face was more than enough to break people's monitors. So Ben's asked, "What's your game then, Andy? What gets you out of your tent each morning?"
That's kind of a difficult question because it really depends on what kind of system I'm in. I suppose you could say my game is to portray a character. I very much enjoy. I'm not necessarily one for huge interpersonal conflicts, but I want to play a character to the extent of this is the idea, this is the concept, this is what I bring to the table. Let's go forward, and I might set myself small goals. But really, a good story also massively. I mean, I'm going to be labeled a LARP heretic, but I sometimes struggle with the big fest LARPs because the story is so spread out or so concentrated on the people that are in charge. I struggle to engage with it. However, on the I am a huge fan, absolutely massive fan of the smaller LARP systems because I can engage with the story, I can engage with the characters, I can work on personal projects, I can work on progression, and I want to tell a story with who I am and where I'm going.
Yeah.
Even if it's just small things that I've picked up along the way. At one LARP I went to called Brave Folk, I was playing an undertaker, and another person was playing a midwife. And we had a lot of fun just playing off each other because we were like, well, you're one end of life, I'm the other end of life, so let's just carry on. And as we started to discover things about the world and things about magic, we started to kind of discover where our places were on that spectrum. And it just little things like that. I love character interaction. I love working together to achieve something or to do something. It's never been my game to just sit back and drink. And for some people, that's exactly what they need. For me, it doesn't work for me.
I don't think that's ever worked for you.
No, never. But again, some people, it's exactly why they go, because it's exactly what they need, because they want a chance to relax and let the stress of everything just kind of flow out and to have a drink and have a sing song. But I love getting involved. I love trying my hand at things. I love poking plot with a stick until it bites me, which it does
a lot
frequently. Because, yeah, there was a joke that in the Vampire the Masquerade LARP that I would poke a plot, go, guys, the plot's here. Let's The plot's eaten my hand, guys. Oh, I'm dead. And then they would step up and go, he's dead. The plot's there. Let's deal with it. So just could have given me like, you could have been like 5 minutes sooner, guys. But yes.
Yeah. So Helen's asked, what's your most memorable character or event that has happened to one of your characters? I know this question you could probably talk on for quite a while. So let's keep this one brief because I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and we'll probably come back to it anyway.
Well, there are loads. Again, the thing is, I have memorable moments per system. And the one I think you want to talk about, because it ties into your Empire talk, is the death of Chernobog.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That
I was thinking of a different one, but carry on.
What one well, that's my big Empire one.
No, I'm talking about in general for you. Which one for you?
Oh, again, it really, really depends.
Which one hit you the hardest?
I'm gonna say actually, again, it's just there's so. It's not a bad question. It's a fantastic question. It's just a very broad question, and again, I could spend hours talking about the difference. I cannot answer with one solid statement. I can give you a few, but I cannot pick one. Sorry.
Okay. Helen says, "Oh dear, I've broken him."
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so we've had one here from Dane.
Control Alt Delete. What you said.
Dane Jerris that says, "Andy, what has been the character death that you look back on and think, yeah, that was a good one?"
A lot of them, to be honest, because a lot of the time I am doing something when the character dies. Take a more recent one. I was playing a character in a superhero style system. The superhero style system was called Future's End. The character was called Sovereign, as some of you well know. He was an alien doctor who had come to Earth because he believed in humanity's potential. And he wished to not only coax humanity into a better place, but he wished to prove to the aliens that they could be in a better place, even though he was from a species that was looked down upon for things he'd never, things that happened 300-400 years ago. And when he died, I had been running around like a lunatic, like I do when I play medics, running from injured person to injured person to injured person. At one point, I ended up covering a group of guys that had fallen unconscious due to a ritual. All the guys in big, heavy super armor was hiding behind buildings, and you just have me in like a lumberjack shirt because I'd become naturalized. I'd lived on Earth now.
Yeah.
So instead of wearing my spacesuit, I was wearing just normal human clothing, leaning over the bodies of these unconscious people, and people were going, "Well, come get me." It's like they're going to get shot by a sniper. And then after they had woken back up and everything started getting back well, I went back to check in on the people that were being surgeried on to offer my help. And then you just had the classic call of grenade. And I had the strength. I could have picked it up and thrown it. Well, I had the strength. At the time, I was the strongest person in the system, like physically strongest. Because I had a skill called Mega Strength, which is not actually on the rule list.
Right.
I even have the card. I still have the card. I got the card 10 minutes after I got killed. So they let me keep the card. But the call of grenade, and I could have thrown it, but I didn't know if it was going to explode on the wall. I didn't know how long it had. I didn't know if there were people beyond the wall that would be affected by it. I had no idea to know what would happen, and if it had gone off, it would have killed all the people that were very, very injured and all the people that were medics and unarmored. Because in the rules, if all of your locations go to -1, you die. So I did what a hero would do in that particular situation. Sovereign jumped onto the grenade, and I took a triple to every location, which put me on -1. They asked if there was a reason why I should survive. I answered, I have a family, and they said, nope, not good enough, and declared me dead.
Oh.
But I saved a load of people. And because it was such a heroic death in that regard, what they did afterwards was they actually told me, go put on all your sovereign gear and then go to God. So I put on all his traditional costume, his spacesuit, his long star-spangled coat, the crown, everything. And I went to God. And they'd set up this event, and there was a portal from the underworld that a NPC brought me through so I could say goodbye to people, because they basically said that throughout the system up until that point, I was up there with a few of the other players as one of the biggest heroes of the system, which embarrassed me at the time. I was very surprised because I was just trying to play a person doing his best. And to be basically labeled as basically one of the Justice League of the system is very much a case of...
Yeah.
And they brought me through, and they allowed me to say goodbye to people, and I got a lovely bit of closure from it, and it was really, really nice.
Good.
So yeah, I think that's one of the...
Okay, right. So we're getting a few comments, and I think...
Oh, you've gone really loud all of a sudden.
Yeah. So we'll just check with chat here, because people have been saying it's quite quiet again. How is it now for everybody in chat? Ooh. My volume is now too loud. Andy is too quiet.
Okay.
Right, I've turned Andy up full.
How's that? Is that better?
So turn me down a bit more. Is that better for everybody now with the way it is there? Much.
Okay.
I'm on about 5%. Andy is on 100%.
I can always turn up the gain on my microphone if need be.
Oh, okay. I'm now quiet. Right. Okay. Is that better now?
You're quite loud to me.
Am I?
I'm gonna turn you down on my thing so you can be turned up for everybody else. There we go.
I'm now clipping. Okay. Yeah, it was too high. There we go. That was probably better there.
Okay.
Okay. Very good.
We're good.
They've said sing a song. No, Ben. No. No, the only time I've sang was Wayfaring Stranger, and that was with Kit, and we were drunk.
I can attest to this. He only sings when drunk and around Kit. Though I have noticed that is actually an or situation. He will sing when drunk, and or when around Kit.
True. Very, very true. So, we are... Okay, so that's... Okay, that should be audio sorted. I'm going to stop fiddling with it now. So I'm going to go and read out some of these comments about what happened here. So, he was a dear, dear heart. Press F for Space Cow. There will never be another cowman like him.
That was actually one of the conditions of making an alien species for Future's End, is that you had to... I mean, you got to keep the rights to the race, so if you want to use them in fiction or anything else in the future, that's fine. But you had to allow other people to play them. And even though Sovereign is dead, there are 2 more people who have had characters die and have come back as members of his species, and that's really kind of cool.
Awesome. The game shook the day he died. People did not believe it was real. Many tears were shed. A loud member of the crew yelled, "Who let the space cow die?"
I know exactly who that was. And it was basically, he was just stood there going, you had one job. One. Do not let the space cow die.
Was it Rich?
No, it was. I believe it was Chris Davies,
Ah, okay.
who I first met. Um, I believe it was actually in Future's End. But every time I've run into him since, he has been absolutely lovely. Then we've gotten to character, and I have wanted to shiv him.
Good. They're the best sort of people to roleplay alongside, I find. There's a question for you from Kai. What is the average life expectancy of your characters at Empire, and what about in general?
I think that's a very offensive question, Kai. Those of us who are, life expectantly divergent, really. I mean, no. In all seriousness, in Empire, my characters tend to live a little longer because of the distance between the events. I think the longest character I ever had was a vampire character by the name of Artemis. I physically retired him after he met his wing condition of become the prince of a county, and dropped to 7th gen. Through means that shall not be discussed.
Yes, because we have vampire players who do watch this as well.
Yes.
So we'll keep that quiet.
So he became the Prince of Sussex, and I played him. I played him from 2009 to 2018, I think, and I NPC'd him through 2019. And as I said, I made him as a joke. I took all the flaws that were the most horrific. I am a breach of the masquerade, and you should kill me now. And he got killed, and he didn't get killed at all. In fact, they put him in charge. He sat there, pallid expression, glowing red eyes, permanent fangs, no reflection. He sat there in his Regency era waistcoat, frills. He rode a horse to court. He wore a cutlass. He was a pirate, and they gave him the keys to the county. And it's like, this stopped being a joke on you and started being a joke on me at some point. But no, it depends, really.
I just said, all right, Strahd.
Yes, exactly. That was the entire point. I even turned up with a lot of forbidden knowledge that you're not supposed to have in the system, and expecting, he's just going to be a throwaway character. 10 years later.
Yeah. Artemis was good. I did like Artemis.
Yes, and the entire time it was just me trying and failing to do an impression of Christopher Lee. And just there going, I do not care what you believe. What I want is for you to listen or die. And it was just me being big and menacing with these big fangs that caused me to lisp.
So we've established that
I die very easily.
You die a lot. I thought I died a lot when it came to vampire, especially, but it turns out I was very wrong.
I get involved, and people use me as a divining rod. People just tend to use me as a divining rod in LARPs. If I get killed, it's something to take serious.
I need to know who Romeo Indigo Echo is. I just got to know that because they're asking some good questions here, and they've asked a question here which I love. It's a very, very you question, Andy. This one, I really like it. What is your dream LARP character concept if there was a LARP to contain it?
I think for me, again, that's a fantastic question. I think for me, what I would love to play is a game where you are the direct descendants of legendary beings. I would love to get like some painter stilts and do them up so I could play a giant, a proper full-on sort of make fake hands that extend quite some distance out so that they would fall under the claw rules, and play a proper full-on like Jotun style giant. So I'm not big and dumb, I'm just huge and powerful. Because in some cases LARP can be a power trip, an absolute power trip. But again, there was I would love to do so many different things. I'd love to play in a LARP that wasn't set in quote unquote sort of middle England.
Yeah.
And a LARP that, if you give me the option to play other species, I would love those other species to not be the Tolkien kind of donut. Humans in the middle with elves, dwarves, orcs around the outside.
I'm pretty sure Tolkien mentioned cows.
What, as a species?
No, just that they are a species, aren't they? You could walk around the field eating grass. Sorry.
But again, it's just there was so much potential for so many different ideas. I'd love to. I think I would love, if I had the space, the time, and the money, I would love to build a full-on kind of alien-style exo frame. There's if you've ever played XCOM 2, there is a species in there called the Andromedan who live inside a mechanical suit filled with their own environment. I would love to build one of those. That would be grand. I'd love to build into a fantasy game where we can make our own fantasy races. I love any game where I can add to the lore of the game. And again, I just get so many different ideas. It's just I can't ever play them all because I know that I will never play a concept that I prep for.
So Romeo Indigo Echo is Re. Excellent. I don't think we have now, but thank you for coming along to the stream. I really appreciate you asking some really good questions. It's almost like you know Andy.
Ree is a friend of mine. I met her through Future's End as well. She has some of the best costume on the field because she made this kind of alien tendril headdress sort of thing with a proper sort of latex front, and she is an absolute sociopath when she's on the field because she just plays it very straight faced and not. But she is a lovely, lovely person, and I am glad she could join us today.
Very, very much so. I like it when people come along and ask some really good questions like this.
No, I'm not going to stop, Ree. I will not stop.
So, Helen's asked, do you have a favourite piece of kit? What was it? Where is it? Do you have a favourite piece of kit? What is it and why? You can sell your... did you make udders?
No, I did not.
I'm almost disappointed, Andy.
I think one of my favourite bits of kit... I've got lots. I've got this cloak that I got for... admittedly, I didn't get it until Empire started, but it's this lovely cloak covered in these sort of scraps of fur and things along those sorts of lines. The very sort of White Wolf style. But it was very, very expensive, but I have needed it to be warm, especially at the Empires that were minus 14 degrees.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits is I made a long coat for Sovereign, which was quite fun. Another bit which I have used, but every character I have used seems to have died catastrophically, is I built a suit of power armor out of foam. I love and hate that suit of power armor. I love it because when I look at it, I go, I've done a lot of work. It comes up quite interesting. It kind of ensures that I am very much a big, clanky, big, heavy fighter. But I hate it because when I look back at it, I go, oh, I could have done this differently. I need to rebuild that entirely. I need to start again. And there's just so much of it that I would, if I had the money and the resources to build it again, I would do so many things different. For a start, I would, assuming there wasn't a plague, I would grab you and I would pay you in pizza and you would be my studio model to get the base built. Because I didn't, and it doesn't quite fit a human form properly. But no, another thing that I got, which is really quite cool, rebuilt it for me. It's a crown for Sovereign that had fake crystals that lit up. Kind of the initial idea was that it was a psionic helmet to allow me to use psychic powers. Because I really like the concept of I am not naturally psychic, but I have this device that allows me to be. So it's got that classic superhero flaw of if deprived of the deprived of the tool, I don't have the power. Also, in the dark, when someone goes, get them to a medic, I am stood there with 3 giant glowing red crystals on my head. So people would hopefully know where to go. They were lovely. However, I lost the remote, so I couldn't actually turn it on. And then when I did find the when I found the remote, the lights didn't work anymore because they had fallen out. And some of them had fallen out because I'd been attacked by things in the dark.
Yeah.
So again,
that sucks. Dave said someone should do the restaurant at the end of the universe and have every random species ever created going for dinner together.
Yeah, that would be a fantastic LARP.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, what alien species would you go as for that then?
I've got a concept that I've been wanting to play for some time, but again, it's going to take a lot of effort and time to do. I want to build myself a huge kind of alien sort of insect queen suit because I am 6 foot something and quite broadly built.
Yeah.
I wanted to build sort of this alien bug queen suit. And then once I built all the external apparatus and the big kind of crown-like sort of head and all the other bits and pieces, I wanted to get a I Heart Earth t-shirt and put that over the top. So I would be playing an alien bug queen who was a massive tourist.
Excellent. I could see you doing that, to be honest. I can definitely see you doing that.
And I would be I wouldn't be sort of creepy or rude. I would just be really friendly, and I, just love sort of say, humans are adorable. Have you seen them? They're so cute. Oh, I saw this one playing with a puppy, and I fell over and how cute it was. It was just amazing.
Then you ate them?
Have you seen what a small human looks like? It's a
Davis just said, "Well, humans are delicious."
I would having said that means that if I ever play that concept, I would need the book of how to cook brackets for close brackets humans.
I would want to go as a xenomorph. Nice and simple. That would be it for me. They're my favourite alien species from anything. So
they're a fantastic alien species. I mean, let's be honest with you, it's one of the quintessential ones. Though we did have a running joke in Future's End because the aliens that were there were just a small cluster of the larger player base. We would often joke about being sent copies of Alien or copies of XCOM or having been invited to the premiere of Independence Day Resurrection, and things along those sorts of lines, that are just stood there going, I wonder if the humans understand how racist this actually is. It's just no, it's just gone over their heads. Okay. Well, we were going to tell you the secret to cold fusion, but now stuff yourselves.
Helen has just said that I'm not allowed to dress up as my kink. And
Don't kink shame him.
Don't kink shame. You've been warned. And David said he would like to play the meal and have his head through a tray and have to be wheeled around everywhere. Please try me. I'm very tender.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, dear. Oh, Dave's broke us. Oh, God.
You know, you would be able to do it yourself, because you'd be able to go, because you've just built, sort of, have one of those 2-layer trays, put a hole in it, and then have yourself sort of leaning over the top, sort of underneath it. So you basically move along with your hands with the side curtains, and then you would just have someone, like a floating, like a robot or something, attached to the handle, so it looks like this little robot is pushing the tray along.
That would be good. I think this would be a nice one-off LARP to do, just to have people sit down, eat, and stuff like that. No real plot or anything like that, just to dress up, have a laugh.
I find that those can be great for an evening, but you really need something to happen for a full weekend. I played a LARP called, I still play a LARP called Wayward Road. And it's good fun, great fun, love the people. But we had a player event, which was, again, such lovely people, and I loved going. But we didn't have much to do.
Right.
Which meant that in some cases, for characters that weren't as social, it made it difficult to find things to interact with other people. And I am not in any way, shape, or form saying they should have provided that we should have been entertained. It's like, no, not in the slightest. They told us what it was. It was a social event. Everybody was basically going to a bar, having a lock-in, and just enjoying ourselves. But I'm just saying, they can drag. So sometimes it can be nice to do to have a little bit of plot, just kind of sprinkled in, just to, even if it's just a case of, oh, we've got some traders here who are going to help set you up with some tools, or we've got a couple of people that need a little bit of advice, and maybe bring everybody together and sit down and have a bit of a chat about the best ways to fend off monster X or person Y. Just a little bit of garnish on a relaxed weekend. Though again, if they were to invite me again, I would go again, because after the death of my previous character, shock horror, I am now playing a much more bolshy character. Because before I was playing a very stern, very serious character. I was very strong, the sort of strong silent type. Now I'm just playing a guy going, yeah, no, at the end of the screw this, quite frankly. I mean, I'm just, oh, you think you're hard? Sod off.
So when it comes to the LARPs, then, because you've played in a lot of them, you've done a lot of LARP gatherings and stuff like this. Oh, okay, there is a question. Reese asked, what's the next LARP you're looking forward to?
That's an unfair question, Ree, because I'm looking for all of them, and you run one of them. So I plead the fifth.
Okay, that's fine too. Yeah, we'll get to the next part of that question in a minute, because I've forgotten the question I was going to ask.
You were talking about how I had attended a good number of LARPs, and I had done a lot of different sort of LARP systems.
Oh yeah, I remember. So as was said, you've done a lot of LARPs. You've experienced a lot of role play. You've played a lot of tabletop. You've done a lot of things like that.
Yes.
What is the one world that you would love to see represented, or one scenario, one thing that you would love to see represented in a LARP?
I suppose for me, it would be a proper rebellion. Because I've seen, as you said, I've gone to a lot of LARPs. It became a great passion of mine when I was a teenager. But I think what I would love to see is a proper full-on rebellion situation, or a proper siege scenario. That's always something that I have always enjoyed. But I love the idea of going to a small castle. Like there's a castle in Guidelon, which was, I believe it's now completed, but it was made using proper full-on, I think it was 13th century technology. But actually getting somewhere like a small fort and actually having to hold it. Or you are in a city and you are the underdogs. You can't just do the sneaking. You have to fight, and you have to, you have to take risks, and you have to try and improve the world, because there is a lot in LARP which is very much a case of I am going to empower me.
Yeah,
and that's grand. In things like Empire is very much self-empowerment. A lot of the time, a lot of LARPs are about being a person to gain your own power or glory or position. But I would like a LARP system that's much more you are trying to make things better. You are not just playing. I mean, it's one of the reasons we were all looking at such a. I say we, but I certainly was looking forward to a superhero LARP, was because it was very much a case of I wanted to play someone who wanted to work to make things better, and I was prepared to do whatever I needed to do to make things better. So that's the situation I would love. Just an opportunity to play the underdog, fighting up, punching up, doing what we can, how we can do it, going off on missions to we need to grab some supplies. Okay, there is a supply train that's fueling up at this depot. We need to send a bunch of people in to grab it. Okay, we've got this place. We need to defend it from this small squad, squad of soldiers from the government. We need to go in and defend that. Okay, well, we've got information that they're going to raid this town. If we intercept them at this point, we can stop that. Things along those sorts of lines. I'm not sure if any of this is making any sense, but that is what I feel would be awesome.
It would be a very, very interesting one, that's for sure. I think that sort of thing, that'd be quite an intense one, where you're sitting there having a drink, having something to eat, chatting away, and then waiting for an attack to happen and stuff like that. So,
well, it wouldn't just be a waiting one. There would be opportunity to have those moments of quiet, but it would also be an opportunity to, whilst you're having those moments of quiet, say for example, we're at the rebel camp, and everybody's kind of sat around this fire pit eating their dinner or eating their lunch and going, okay, well, we've got a little bit of info. Once we're done with this, once you've refueled and gotten all your weapons together, we need to go over there and do mission X. And another one could be a case of, we know this is a trap, but we've got to go anyway because there are people. And all those little scenarios, you wouldn't just be waiting for something to happen. You as the players, I mean, there would be an end point, because there would be either a point of all the players die, in which case the oppressive regime wins, or the players overthrow the oppressive regime, in which case the players win, in which case it ends either way. But as a short run LARP, I reckon that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Dave's just asked, have you thought about doing voiceover work?
I have no idea how to.
you go. I think there are ways and means.
If someone knows how to get into it, I would love the opportunity. I've only got a Blue Yeti. I don't have one of the really, really expensive setups, but I would love to give it a try.
Well, at least you've got a proper mic, mate. I'm still on the webcam with the onboard mic thing and stuff like that. I am in the process of getting all of that sort of set up, and that's how I can do all of this.
Hands to the sky. The only reason I have it is because a friend of mine, Adam Carter Groves, lovely guy. If you ever meet him, he is a beautiful person.
He is
basically,
a wonderful lad.
he is a wonderful. He was moving to follow his career, which he is doing. As far as I am aware, he's doing fantastic at. But he had no room to take the mic with him. So I have it on semi-permanent loan.
Excellent.
If he were to ever ask for it back, it would immediately go back to him, and I would probably pay him basically a rental fee, because I don't want to screw him out of anything. But until that day,
we all know Andy won't take. We know Adam won't take it. He is too nice a guy for that. There's a link has been put in chat for a website for you to go and have a look at, because apparently that'll be good for you. So, Dane Joris has asked, are there any LARPs that you have not yet run that you're excited about? I'm getting it. There have been 2 questions so far. I know of a project you're working on for LARP, and I'm guessing that this is what they are referring to at the moment.
I would assume. I am currently working on a Steven Universe LARP from the TV series, mainly because it is a very positive setting in a lot of ways. It's a setting that addresses a lot about sort of who you are, and coming to not only understand who you are, but loving who you are. About overcoming, again, it's that sort of overcoming not only yourself, the pressures that are put on you by outside forces, so that you yourself can run. And I was planning to run the first one in November. However, we can all assume why that's going to be put on hold until next year.
Yes.
It is still in the works, however, and I have actually spent today building some of the props for one of the missions that is going on. I cannot tell you what it is, because that would kind of spoil the plot.
Do you have a link to the website at all, or anything like that for it?
I do. I have a website. The LARP allow me to just pull up.
No, just chuck it to me, and I will put it in the description underneath the video when I put it online. We'll put it on YouTube for you. Then we can go from there. So we'll do that. We'll sort that out after we're done, and then you can do all that. Then I can get that sorted out. So,
sorry, I almost headbutted the camera there trying to adjust my position.
So you've done. It's one of the main reasons why I had to move my screen and everything to the other side of the desk, because I can't reach it now. So, Dave has just said he's missed a bunch because he's at work. He might have to write you a character for his podcast. As I said, Dave does the New LARP's podcast. LARP New podcast. I'm really all over it today, so I do apologize. I did a box opening for my merch earlier, and I'd forgotten the name of the company that supplied it. I kept on getting everything mixed around, and I was just like, oh my god, someone just shoot me in the face and put me out of my misery. So, so Dave does that. They are really good. So if you haven't seen his podcasts, go.
I have not. I will have to. Go and have a look. See.
Yes, so definitely give them a go. So we've had a fair few more questions coming. So that Fiverr.com is an online catalogue of voiceover artists. You believe you can just sign up online. So Ben,
sorry to interrupt. I have sent a link to you via Discord, so you can just copy it from there.
Cool, thank you. Ben has said, in terms of Empire, as a lot of us are Empire noobs, which is your favourite nation?
I'm going to be labelled a heretic again, but my favourite nation has been Varushka. A lot of my friends play in the League, Navarre, or Wintermark and Highguard. But I wanted to play a certain character and I wanted to play a certain way, and I went to Varushka and I found them to be absolutely lovely. There were a couple of problem players, there always are, but for the majority, they were just so warm and so welcoming. And if you walked up and went, I want to get involved, they would find you a way to get involved.
Yeah.
And they would just, on an OC, they were absolutely lovely. I miss them massively. But no, a lot of people have gone to different places. And the one thing I can say to Empire noobs, don't be afraid to go somewhere on your own. Because if you go and join another nation you're not really interested in because your friends are there, you might do okay. But there's also an opportunity you might have missed because you are just kind of there. That's what I had. A lot of my friends, including Steve, first started out in Navarre. And I read Navarre's brief and I was like, oh, that's fun. And then I read Varushka's brief and went, I am there. Because despite the sort of, the bright room and the, trying to be quite positive, I love the sort of the specific dark fairy tales and the creatures of the night and the true sort of the old stories of the old fae where you had to set out milk and hope that they didn't come and steal your children, and things along those sorts of lines. I loved all of that sort of the darker mythology, and I love the fact that the Varushkans and the Navari knew it existed, and everybody else is sat there going, they're just nuts. Look, I'm going to walk off this road and nothing's going to happen to me, and no one ever hears from them again. And it's just lovely at OC, great IC because you come together in small communities, and they have been some of my favorite events at Empire have been in Varushka.
Yeah, you were the only reason Dave's finishing work, so he's heading home. So it was, So we'll
drive safe.
Dave, you take care. Yeah, I forgot to speak there as well. I'm doing really well today. God, what is wrong with me today? So you take care, Dave, and we'll see you soon. Because Varushka was, you were the only reason I went to Varushka when I played my old character, and we had some very nice.
Yes, because you were my former commanding officer, Sternanos, the great general that was betrayed.
Yes, bastards. But yeah, we had some very, very nice moments and a lot of good roleplay, and it was always good. Helen's asked, what's it like running a LARP versus attending one? What little things do you notice at other LARPs as a result of being a LARP writer that players may miss?
I haven't. The biggest thing that I can point out is that there is a lot of work that you never see. Having run vampire games, having planned to run the Steven Universe LARP, there are so many considerations that never can predict.
No.
And I've got this rough list, and I showed it, someone that I'm working with, and they looked at it, and I told them, this is the events that are going to happen. And they said, shouldn't we flesh this out a bit? And I was like, no, because we have no idea what the players will do. None at all. We got to kind of do a lot of work in if they do X, this happens. If they do Y, this happens. But we all know players are going to do Z. And you haven't planned for Z.
No.
It's like, in this situation, they could either hand over the traitor or accept the bribe. Accept the bribe and walk away. And then the players go, "We've joined the traitor." What? We have joined the traitor. Right. You've joined the traitor. So what you're going to have to do now is go back and gather your supplies. This is just enough time for me to rewrite the entire document. So there is a lot of work that you are not anticipating. The biggest difficulty, though, that you will ever get as a LARP runner, and again, this sounds very, very negative, and it's not my intention, but it is a reality, are players that are... I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. Players, I was going to say that offered a challenge in terms of how to solve situations.
Okay.
And there are several situations or scenarios. I mean, there are some which have said, "You're picking on me." It's like, I'm not. You're the one that's sticking your head in the lion's mouth. I have put the lion there for you to fight, and you keep sticking your head in the lion's mouth. And that's a fine way to do it, but don't be surprised if the lion starts biting. Or I have had players that have gone, "Well, you don't. We are trying, but you don't let us succeed at anything." It's like, yeah, but I'm not the one trying to unlock a lock with a spoon. So they will try to justify bad skills for actions. Some I have absolutely loved because I was sat there going, "Did not see that coming. Fair cop." And it's like, well, I just happen to be able to speak this language. It's like, did not realize that. Yeah, and I have solved I can solve the problem doing X, Y, and Z. Did not see that coming. Did not realize. Yes, you can solve that problem because you can't be precious.
No.
You have to be prepared to throw things away. But there are some people that will, instead of using the door, they will try to hit their head against a brick wall and blame you for the fact they're not making any progress. Which can be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had in writing the Steven Universe rulebook, I had a lot of issues having to go back and rewrite bits, or having other people go, "That doesn't work. This doesn't work." Can't be pressured. You just got to score bits out and try again. But there is a point where you just have to go, "Nope, this is my decision. I'm running it. This is the situation," and be prepared because some people will not go along with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things you can't prepare for players. Unfortunately, they will always throw a spanner in the works. So,
sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be bad. Don't close your mind off to it. One response I have seen is that you must take this very, very narrow route to success. That does as much damage as just not doing anything. If the players come to you with a unique way to solve the situation, take the time to consider what they are offering, because that player has thought outside the box and has thought of something you didn't think of. So consider it. Don't just throw it out. Listen to them and go from there. But if they are just being extriperous, you can't cave.
No. But
consider their words carefully, because if you close yourself off, you've lost. Simple as that.
Pretty much. So we're going for an hour and 10. These normally only last about an hour. I have a question that I always like to finish with.
Sure.
It's a question that actually came from Helen's mum. And I've asked everyone I've done these sorts of chats with. I've always asked them. Nice simple one, but it opens up a lot, I find, and it's always different. Why do you LARP?
It's an extension of creativity. It allows me to explore ideas.
Sorry, Helen's just said, I think you need to start paying my mum for this question.
At least buy a dinner or something.
No.
For me, it's an extension of creativity. It allows me to explore new characters, new concepts. I do a lot of creative work. I do a lot of sketching, writing, but it allows me to kind of extend sort of that particular field. So I can make costumes and I can create characters, and then I can put play to see how they are. And I just love being there. I love being with the character. I love telling a story, and I love being around these people that I trust and have great fun with.
Yeah, they're picking on me in chat now.
Are they? I can't save you from chat.
No, you can't. It's like a swear jar for Helen's mum each time the question comes up. Can we get Helen's mum on to ask questions as a guest? She's a lovely woman. At least buy her dinner, Steve. Christ. Oh yes, like a guest.
I just
host.
said that.
Yeah, it's so by all means. So can I pause chat for a second?
No, I wouldn't. That would be despotic.
It would be. So carry on, Andy.
That is the main reason. I do it because I love seeing the people. I do it because I love playing characters. I love exploring new concepts. Someone once asked, why do you play weird things in tabletop games? Do you just want that feeling of being special? And one, everybody does.
Very true. Very, very true.
But two, no. I don't do it because I want to be special. I do it because I want to explore a character. I made up a character for a D&D game once that I didn't get to use until a 13th Age game, which was I came up with a Medusae mercenary.
Mm.
So they had the sort of the lamia-like body, so the snake body and the hair full of snakes and things along those sorts of lines. And I was basically told, you can't play this because you would need to do this amount of work to get the levels right. And I was like, no. Just give me human baseline stats. I don't want fancy stats. I want one thing that I can do well, which makes me kind of unique. And then just give me human stats for the rest of it. Yeah. I don't want to be this. I am like a Gorgon, so I should have all of the advances. I'm happy just with a bog standard track of stuff. Instead of getting 2 feats, I can, paralyze people for 3 turns.
Makes sense.
I want to explore what it would be like to play like a monster in the world that kind of travels the civilized world. Mm. So I would be there with a passport, again, exploring what it would be like to try and live in the fantasy realm as a monster that people go and kill, but who's actually trying just to make a life for them. And it's things along those sorts of lines. I love just exploring the opportunity to play something new, the opportunity to play a different angle or a different view. Mm. And that's, those things combined. The only other thing I have to really say about it is that if anybody has any questions before we go, I'm happy to answer anything else.
Yeah, they're currently threatening to boot me from my own stream, so it's we're doing well. I'm picking up on.
didn't realize that was possible.
No, neither did I. I was just having a little look to see if I was able to unmod Helen quickly, just to get rid of her. So
she lives in your house. She will shiv you in the kidneys.
I know she will. Yeah. I think Mike's got to go. Thanks for coming, Mike. I'm about to bring it to an end anyway. So, thank you everyone for coming in to chat and having it. This has been a great laugh. Thank you so much for coming along to do this, Andy. I told you would enjoy it, didn't I?
I just hope I wasn't boring for everybody.
No, definitely not boring. I think boring is the complete opposite of the word we would use. Definitely been having a laugh. It's been such good. Never boring. There you go. In chat, never boring.
I will very, very quickly take this opportunity to plug my book, Outcast: The Giant of Trinamar. It is lovely. It has some lovely art by someone on Twitter by the name of Dement09, or Distortion as she is known. And I am going to keep writing. I'm also going to keep working on the Steven Universe LARP. And more information can be found on the Steven Universe LARP Facebook page and the website. So, and links to those will also be provided. So
I'll put a link up for if you've got a link for a group for your artwork as well for commissions and stuff too.
I do not, but if you were to contact me via Facebook or via my email address, which is Andrew Outcast.
That's right. We'll put it all in the description.
Put it all in.
I'll put it all in there.
I am currently running on plague sale prices. Because everybody needs to kind of tighten their belts a little bit because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. While we're talking about that, these t-shirts, if you want one, I think you can message me on Twitch or Facebook or something like that. They're 15 quid each.
How much are they again, Steve? That sounded like a deal to me.
Shut up, Andy. 15 quid each. Also, if you have a Amazon Prime subscription, you can subscribe to me through that. Doesn't cost you anything, but it gives me a couple of dollars, and it all helps because it means I'm looking at my next LARP giveaway. So the money I get will go and buy something to give away. So I went and bought some leather bits from Darkblade. And a new player has won that, and she will be collecting them at her first event. So she'll have pouch belt, stuff like that. So she's won that off of me, which is good. So that's what I'm saving for next, and we can get that going for some new players, hopefully, as well. So that's all I do.
Maybe talk to Irregular Props or someone to get like a starter weapon for someone.
Yeah, funny enough, Dan Stocker has said he's going to come on the channel as well. He's coming on to do something like this, so which will be good.
He has had too much of my money in the past.
Yeah, mine too. Which is Darren's really, really good. On Wednesday, I am doing another Virtues chat. So it's Virtues and the Brass Coast. And on Friday for my stream, I believe it's just me. And I'm just going to talk bollocks for an hour about LARP and everything like that. And they're generally a good laugh. So we'll do that. But you in chat. Hooray. So we'll get that done. And I am sure that there will be... we'll get you back on as well at some point, Andy, for another chat. We'll get more people on and we'll do things. And yeah, it's just now it's become the longer dark for LARPs, so yeah, we'll get something done.
Here's the thing. Whilst this is a bit of an unfortunate situation for LARPers, this is actually a good time because a lot of the time, for myself, I am using this opportunity to clear out some of my old kit that won't be used again, to re-waterproof my tent, to go through and do proper maintenance that would take longer than a winter to do, for example. So this is rather than seeing it as I won't get to do any LARP stuff, do a little bit of try making your own costume, try building something. You don't have to be the best, but give it a try. Expand your horizons. Maybe you'll find that you've got a great passion for building little like foam throwing daggers or something.
With that as well, any suggestions for who to get on something like this? Get some channel challenges in.
I would suggest Ree. Ree should come onto this show because not only has she run LARPs in the past, she has also done some fantastic costume work. She is a very friendly person, and she is quite beautiful. So that is my opinion.
Okay. So, Ree, if you're free, chuck me a message through Andy, or send it to me on Facebook. Then we'll have a look at getting you on, and we can chat like this. I have also emailed Mr. Matt Pennington as well to see if I can get him on as well, because I think that could be quite an interesting one too.
Yes, and the unsung god for all Matt Pennington's LARPs, Bill Pennington.
Yeah, Bill would be fantastic. Be really, really good. Helen has just said her mum.
Yes.
I think we should get her mum on as a guest host. I think that would be. We'll have to get that. So we'll have to get that arranged. I think now.
You know what you could do?
What's that?
A Q&A, but not just for LARPers, but not just from LARPers, but also from people who don't LARP, who are curious about the thing, because you might get two different sets of questions.
It's just said maybe have Helen's mum interview Matt P. She'd be so. Helen's just said she'd be so confused. So we'll get Rhea on, and we'll try to get Helen's mum on for that one as well.
Only if Rhea wants to and is available for, but it's just more.
Well, Rhea's just said in chat, maybe me and your mum can collab. So, I think that would be a nice, interesting one to do. I think that could be quite fun. We'll do that. That will be a laugh. So Matt, where did it all go wrong? So I think that could be quite interesting. We'll get that. So the manufacturer as well. So Darren,
Dear Matt, when did you start regretting doing a downtime system?
Yeah. So Darren Stocker is in charge of a regular props. So so he'll be really good for that. There's Tim as well from Darkblade, who I could ask. I think he'd be up for it as well.
There's Rob Willits as well, which
makes his own
Rob
weapons.
Willits, he I believe, I don't know if he still goes under the name, but it was something along the lines of side. He built my shield for me. He helped me build my armor for Sovereign. He does a lot of really, really good work. And he has got a lot of experience, not just with modern day LARPs, but fantasy LARPs and sci-fi LARPs, and has a lot of interesting things to say, not just about that, but also about the construction side, about the costume and the building side of those particular things. So I would also recommend that he would be a good shout to bring on personally.
Yeah. I also want to get a LARP tavern thing done, where it is your LARP character meeting other LARP characters from other systems, and they're all in a tavern having a chat.
That sounds like it's going to go and end badly.
Oh, it's going to end incredibly badly, but it'll be hilarious. So I'm thinking that could be quite fun to do it, to give that a go as well. So it could be quite interesting. So
I'm assuming we're going to have Justin and Kit come along and do some singing.
No, oh my God, no. Have you seen me try to keep them under wraps? It's just not possible.
Just, I'm sure if you just give their partners like cattle prods, and you just have every time a red light appears on, they just get shot.
Yeah, it would be needed. Rachel was just saying to get Helen's mum on it as well. Wow. We'll try.
That would be interesting. A Q&A from someone who does to LARP characters who are in character. That would certainly be a very interesting thing.
So, and then Mac gives them all drugs. Yeah, pretty much. But I think do something like the LARP Tavern, get something like that, and get a lot of people in character from their world having a chat. It could be quite interesting, informative, and then everyone goes their own separate ways. It could be quite fun. Yeah, it could be quite something that could be quite interesting to see for people as well. Hopefully get some people from other systems involved in that. So, I know a couple of people from American systems who would be interested in doing it. So,
sure. Just as one last thing, if I may, I'm sorry I keep delaying the end of this.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
Just as a bit of a shout out, I might not say much, but if I have seen you at LARP, I more likely than not very much miss your face. I am looking forward to seeing you at the various LARPs that I attend, like Wayward Road, like We Are Legends, for the next year, things like Gods and Monsters, and things along those sorts of lines. I would, if I have signed up to, I am still very much interested in going. It's just lockdown is weird.
Lockdown is very, very weird.
Everybody, from me, you are amazing. You've got this. Just keep going one day at a time. And it is never, ever a waste of time to take time to look after yourself. I know it can feel unproductive, but it is never a waste of time.
Exactly. Very, very well put. So, I guess we're bringing it to an end there.
Well,
that's the most. I think that's the nicest thing anyone has ever said on these streams, to be honest, Andy, and I think it's needed. I always try to make these a very empowering and positive things, and you have definitely brought it to the stream there.
Everybody just needs a little bit of positivity. Everybody just needs someone saying, "You've got this. We understand. Keep going."
Definitely.
Much love.
If you are struggling out there, then reach out as well.
Yeah. If you are struggling, you are not a burden. You are not a bother. If you are struggling, tell someone, because they would much rather know and help you work through it than not know. And then you would not be in their lives ever again.
And on that last note from Helen in chat, if you ever get the chance to get a big bear hug from Andy, you need it in your life.
Big hugs.
Everyone, you take care of yourselves. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you very much for listening.
I'm sure we will get Andy on again. You take care. Love to you all. Bye-bye.
Much love.